man, like once you get out of elementary, get in middle school, high school, man. It's either you care at that point or you don't. They ain't forcing it down your throat. You know.
Nah, they kind of, the handwriting with middle school a little bit, maybe a little bit.
Really? Because I don't remember them like giving as long as it was readable, as long as you ain't on no fucking like creating a whole
chicken scratch
language looking shit. Like, you good.
Yo, I do not know how to write cursive.
I only know how to do my name in cursive.
Yeah, that's it.
Because that's your signature. I feel like that's all you really need to know cursive. Like, if a nigga just give me like a paper in cursive, I'm not reading it. Like, take it back. Here, you go.
So you're not gonna send no letters off. You're not gonna receive any letters that have cursive on it.
I'm not gonna make it if it ain't got a GENEPATERSON. I'm not gonna know what you saying, bro. On life, not gonna know what you're saying,
bro. I remember a few years back, my grandmother sent a letter. It was so sad, bro. Mm. She knew how to write cursive, but I looked at this letter. I just couldn't read it. I couldn't read it.
Damn, so you didn't even respond?
I couldn't even respond. Just gave her a phone call.
Dang. She did all that work for that letter.
Yeah.
Paid to ship it and all that.
Yeah, the stamp.
And you just called her.
The 5-cent stamp. And I just had to give her a phone call because we in a new age, man. We don't do letters. So why
didn't you or your brothers or your mother and father inform your grandma that we do phone calls now?
Because no matter what you tell her, she's going to be in her ways. She's that kind of grandma. Yo, bro, she still has a flip phone. No, I mean not to knock it, but she don't even know how to operate it. All she knows. Go ahead.
I'm not. Go ahead.
Yeah, all she knows is how to use that home telephone. That's it.
But once I would imagine she's in her 60s, 70s, in that area.
Yeah, I would say early 70s.
Okay. Like, they don't need to know about technology. Like, they need to.
Very true.
But it's like they ain't gonna know like that. Like, you expect them not to know.
Yeah.
Now, if you in 40s or 50s, all right, come on now. But in your 70s, okay, you get a pass. You can do the little letters and stuff because y'all used to do that, as kids, and then into your adulthood and most of your adulthood. So, hey, I give it a pass. But
yeah, I give it a pass too because I put myself in her shoes, and I said, what if all of this stuff was coming out and you just stuck in it? Like, I wouldn't be able to know. I wouldn't know how to operate it, so I just left it alone.
One thing I have a beef with that old people do is writing checks.
Okay.
That shit irks the fuck out of me.
Okay. That does too.
Stop writing checks. We're done with that.
Yeah, we're done. You
can use the freaking flip phone. You can use the old landline. You can send letters. Don't write me a fucking check. I don't know what to do with this. What am I doing with this? And then you send your cursive writing on the bottom. No, stop.
Yo, just send me the money through my Cash App. That's all I ask.
Send me the money. Matter of fact, I'll hand you money so you can hand it back to me so you can practice this shit. Because this shit right here is not working.
Yo,
okay?
I'm not going to the bank with a check so I can cash it out. No.
I don't even know what to say to the bank. The bank teller probably don't even know what to do with this shit. They probably like, what, nigga, what are you doing?
Yo.
Like,
yeah, when the last time you received a check like that?
Man, at my job, every once in a while, customers be wanting to do that shit. But it be like the old ones. But, like how when you start with a bank, they give you like a checkbook.
Yeah.
It's like they know you're not going to use it.
They know, yeah.
But they just give it to you anyways. I don't even know where my checkbook is. I don't know where it's at.
I lost that shit. I lost it.
I think it's still in my old car. That's somewhere in some junkyard. Like,
gotta be in the junkyard. It gotta be in the junkyard.
Have to be. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
man.
my beef with old people. That's my beef.
My beef with old people is staring. You know.
Staring?
Yeah, a lot of them stare. Especially the old whites. I mean, I get it, but the staring has to stop. You know what I do? I stare right back at them. I just stare right back at them.
How does that work out?
Some battles I lose, and some I win. But you know,
so when you lose, you just like y'all have a stare down and you just break.
Yeah, we in the target aisle. We just staring at each other, and you know, I just say to myself, this is getting a little bit too weird. Let me just go to the next aisle, man.
Damn, you just gave that old person the victory. Like you just back up.
I have to, man.
You competitive.
I have to. They have, you know, I have a full life ahead of me. They have, you know, a few years ahead of them. So I got to give them some wins.
Yeah, because what if like within that stare down they just drop dead, like within that stare down? Then you would feel bad. Then you just wasted their life of staring them down.
I would be the last memory, so I wouldn't feel too bad.
So you want their memory of you as the weird black guy that stared them down?
Yeah. I want them to remember my face for staring at me in the first place. Bars, nigga. Okay. Yo, bars. Yo, I'm tired, son. Stop, man. I got too many of these, man.
Yo, put that shit on paper, man.
Yeah, I'm trying, man. I'm trying to take it back to the 90s hip-hop.
I feel you, man. Yo, let's start this fucking podcast, bro.
Let's get this show started, man. It's your boy, Smoove. I'm over here with Petty G, and this is the Burg Bros Podcast. Greens, potatoes, tomatoes, chicken, turkey, beans, greens, potatoes, tomatoes, chicken, turkey. You name it. You name it. You name it. You name it. I just had to get that one just with a little bit more excitement. Y'all just felt like the other ones was a little, yeah, man.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
You like that one?
That intro. Yeah, I like it. You know, there's a little more energy. You know?
Oh, okay,
like
okay.
It.
Now, G. I know you got a lot to talk about, but I want to get this out of the way first because I feel like it's very important.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there's a lot of sport. I mean, the main sports in the U.S. football, basketball. You could throw in baseball in there, but a sport that doesn't really get a lot of notoriety is track and field. Track and field. Now, I believe we're in the indoor season. Are we?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
Okay. So we're in the indoor season, and I have to make some breaking news.
Okay.
There's a collegiate athlete by the name of Kayla White. She goes to A&T, North Carolina A&T, and she recently broke the record for the fastest time in the 200.
Oh, really? What was her time?
Her time was 22.82.
Oh, wow. Wait, didn't you run 22.3 outdoor?
I ran 23.8. So she's way faster than me. But I mean, that was when I, was fresh and I just started track. You know what I mean?
But let me put it in context for the viewers. Indoor track is a 200-meter track. Outdoor track, 400-meter track. Indoor, the 200-meter track, you got turns and a straightaway. The turns is typically going to be harder, whether it's indoor or outdoor. But in indoor specifically, the turns is even tighter, which puts a lot more pressure on the joints and makes it more difficult to run fast.
Very true.
Indoor.
Very true.
The fact that this woman was able to run 22.83 in a 200 meter to this guy's 22.8 outdoor. Just put it into perspective.
No, that's very true. That is great
a woman to be able to break that record. That is a true accomplishment.
Yeah, true accomplishment. She's way faster than I am. Like on the outdoor track, you have to deal with just one curve, and then you got a straightaway. She had to deal with 2 curves. Wait, let me see. One is
sharper curves at that.
Yeah, and the track is kind of slanted, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, because you have bank tracks, which is the ones that's kind of like slanted, like at a hill,
right?
To where it starts from. Because usually it's going to be lane 1 to lane 6. So lane 1 is usually kind of more flat, and then to where lane 6 is more at the top of the hill, so to speak.
Which lane would you rather be in the indoor track?
The better lanes is going to be 5 and 6, because when you come the curve, that's when you come the curve is going to be where the hill is at, and then it kind of goes back to flat once you get to the straightaway. So when you're at lane, like I said, when you're at lane 6, you're at the peak of the hill. So then when you come down, you got more momentum going into that straightaway, which is the flat land, as opposed to lane 1 where you really have no momentum. But usually lane 1 is given to the slower competitors anyway, and then the faster competitors is usually at lane 6 or lane 5.
So the distance is the same, right?
Yeah, the distance is the same because it's the staggered start, which means lane 6 they'll usually be put up further than lane 1 or the lesser lanes, but they're equal distance. But it looks like lane 6 has the advantage because they up so much more, but because lane 1 don't have to worry about the curve as much, because the curve add extra meters,
right?
So that's why lane 1 looks like it's further back, but in reality they're same distance. But like I said, when it comes to the bank track, which is with the hill, lane 6 have the advantage because your momentum is coming down off of that hill, as opposed to lane 1 when it's pretty much you just running flat.
I got a question. Like, do you feel like you run faster when you have track runners alongside you, like rather than running the track by yourself?
Yeah, because it's like if you're running by yourself, you don't even know how to gauge. Like, you know your game plan,
right?
Which is the advantage to running by yourself, because then you can just get into your bag and just run your race, and not worry about nobody else. Which is how you should do running against other competitors. But you can't really stop them from doing their best unless you do something illegal. Then it just defeats the purpose. But as far as mentally competing against somebody or running against somebody helps you gauge how good you're doing.
Right.
Disadvantage, of course, is then you get out of your game plan. You're more prone to get out of your game plan. So it's a but you. In typical fashion, you're going to be competing against somebody if you're going to a track meet, as opposed to if you're doing a time trial, or if it's a rare occasion where they allow, like, something happen and they allow you to try to qualify for the next round or something,
right? And
you have to run by yourself in the meet. Then those are rare occasions. But if you're saying as far as time trial, in practice versus a track meet, then the track meet is the best way to gauge how fast you are, because it both tests your mental and your physical at the same time, more so than you being by yourself.
Yeah, true. It's definitely a mental game as well. Like, people think it's just a physical. It's definitely a mental game. But yeah, I just wanted to shout out Kayla White because she goes to our rival school, A&T, and I could show love to A&T. Although I went to North Carolina Central, so
yeah, A&T. I say I give their recruiting, like this specifically track and field, I give their recruiting way more credit than Central, because A&T they actually have their own dedicated cross country team, and they recruit distance runners, cross country people, all of that. To where Central they only recruit track and field, and then they make their track and field athletes do cross country.
Damn.
So it's like I remember freshman year when I was on Central's track and field team, my focus was 400 meters, but they forced anybody who did 400 meters and up to do cross country, and then they even had the shorter sprinters like 200 meters, 100 meters, at least do one cross country meet.
Yeah, that's no bueno, man.
So you have just a bunch of track people running cross country, and then we had to go against Duke, the very first cross country meet, who is just dedicated to cross country.
So you was running cross country.
So yeah, they forced me to do cross country. So mind you, this is the first meet against Duke, actual cross country runners, and get this was Duke's first football game too. So what was their ceremony? To have the cross country people, anybody who was competing in the cross country, do a lap around the track and then do the course. So there's a bunch of black people. What?
Nah, go ahead.
So guess where the black people was mostly outside of the Africans that in fucking Ethiopia and shit. Guess where the American black people was?
In the back of the bus.
In the fucking back. You guessed it. Yes, in the back.
Bitch, you guessed it.
In the freaking back. And all these white boys just gone, getting it. You know what I'm saying? We trying to conserve energy thinking we doing some shit.
Right.
Nah, we're never catching up.
Yeah, I couldn't keep up with their pace, man.
Yeah, because we thought we was conserving energy. We was never going to catch them either way.
Yo, they was going to accelerate at the end, and y'all was just going to try to accelerate, but just y'all was going to be too far.
Man, we would have been dead before we got off the track.
Damn.
If we kept up with the pace.
Them cross country runners, they wear them shorts. It's not even short. It's like it's all the way. It's like 1970s basketball shorts, man. All the way up.
That's where the NBA is going to eventually retract back to. I feel like they're going to eventually
That's interesting.
It's getting to that point though. Like you saying, some guys already kind of have that, but they just got their shorts rolled up.
Yeah, LeBron is doing that actually.
Yeah, so they already it's becoming a trend to kind of have the booty shorts basically.
This man said booty shorts.
And, that's what it is though. That's what it is.
It's close to it. It's
pretty much booty shorts.
Yeah, we're definitely going to see Kayla White in the 2020 Olympics for breaking that record.
It's not she still have to go through a process. She's guaranteed. I think because there's a deadline that you can use. There's a deadline. So say next year, 2020 Olympics. So you have to qualify for the USA trials. So there's a time where there's a cutoff time where you can submit your time to the committee, the Olympic committee, and then be able to qualify, which then they'll decide if you qualified for the Olympic trials for the U.S. And she probably will be able to submit this time, but I'm almost guaranteeing she'll be able to run a faster time outdoors. So it really wouldn't even matter what she does indoor at this point, because she's going to be able to run. If she's running a 22.8 indoor, she's going to be able to at least run a 22.3, 22.2, or 22 flat outdoor.
Yeah, that's facts.
In second.
If I sit here, go ahead. Nah, go ahead.
But yeah, so if she's able to run a 22.2 at least seconds, at least for the outdoor, she'll definitely be able to submit that and pretty much qualify for the U.S. trials. But the U.S. is such high competition. She ain't got to worry about Allison Felix. I believe Allison Felix retired, if I'm not misunderstanding. But even outside of that, you still have so many talented sprinters in the U.S. to where usually like most of the countries in the world, they don't even need a time trial because their best people who run the best times like is usually like gonna win, like gonna be their best their best athletes anyway. So they just go ahead and just be like, yeah, y'all just go ahead and represent us. We already know y'all the best. But U.S. is so competitive that a high schooler could beat a professional.
Very true.
You know, that's how competitive, whether it's man or woman, it is in track and field, which is why I love the sport, because it negates all the bias, and it's really a matter of, hey, what the numbers say.
Exactly.
Because numbers don't lie, but the numbers also don't tell the full truth. And what I mean by that, you could run a slow time, but that person could be injured. That person could be, going through something. So it don't tell the full truth, but it don't lie.
Very true. Very true.
And that's all that matters when it comes to qualifying for the Olympic trials or the Olympics period.
Wait, so is there an age limit, or they just anybody is all out, like whoever qualifies?
You can't be below. I don't know the exact age, but I know you can't be below like 15 or something like that. Like, it gotta be like crazy, like middle school damn near. Like, you can't be like that young. But usually, like, if we're talking about sprinting, like, you're not gonna be that young and be able to compete with professionals anyway. But just in regards to just other Olympic sports, like, there's a cutoff to age, like around like 13, 14 years old.
Yo, if I seen a 14-year-old in the 2020 Olympics, bro, I'm rooting for that one.
I mean, there's a lot of cases where there is like super young athletes that's in the Olympics, but it usually is for like the smaller countries. Usually, in many cases, but they don't get the shine or the recollect. I mean, sometimes they'll say it, but it's like, I mean, you going up against the U.S. or you going up against Spain or a dominating countries, more dominating countries. Like, they ain't gonna really win shit. But usually those in some countries be the best athletes in their country.
Very true. Very true.
So you just have to keep. That's the beauty of watching the Olympics, because if you didn't watch it and you just went off for highlights, you would never know a lot of who's competing. And it like going back to the track and field. Like, I remember one year, I don't even remember what country it was, but they had it was some Samoan, I think it was Samoa, and they had like some big chubby like some out of shape big chubby dude sprinting against like the world's greatest sprinters, and this dude from Samoa is like looked like a middle school linebacker. Or not even a linebacker, like a left tackle or some shit, like a offensive lineman. Like, he's just out there sprinting against the best sprinters in the world. But I mean, apparently he was the best they could do. So
damn,
they let him compete.
I probably could have beat him, man.
Yeah, exactly. So a lot of people don't know that, because a lot of people just go to like wait until the highlights. They don't really watch the Olympics, So,
yeah, that's true. That's like when people go to All-Star Weekend, they're not really following the NBA season. They just go on the All-Star Weekend because it's lit.
Yeah, I mean, that's the difference between like a true fan, a hardcore fan or a true fan of a sport, and then a casual fan.
Right,
casual fan tune in for the glamorous shit.
Now, question, G.
What up?
Will you be attending the 2020 Olympics?
I mean, I would like to attend as a competitor.
Right.
But I mean, if that's not in my future to compete, then I wouldn't mind going. I believe it's in Japan or something like that. Yeah, I think it's in Tokyo. So, I mean, I never been outside the country. So, I mean, that would be a hell of an experience.
And what you mean by that, you have never been outside the country of North Carolina.
You funny. Nigga.
You ain't never been outside the Burg, man.
I ain't never been outside of the East Coast. I've been up and down the East Coast. New York, got family in New York. Always, growing up, I always vacated in Florida. So it was always up and down the East Coast, but And then the furthest west I've been is Tennessee, because I was born on Fort Campbell base in Tennessee. Well, it's kind of like the border of Tennessee and Kentucky. So, I mean,
yeah, same here. I've never been on the West Coast. I've never been to the Midwest. I've just been on all up and down the East Coast. That's all I've been.
Yeah. But I mean, I definitely want to do more exploring in the future.
Yeah, bro. I feel like the Olympics would be lit, bro. Like one of these Olympics, I'm going to go just because I enjoy this sport.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize. Like, you see it on TV and you hear about it, but it's like, I feel like it's one of those things where
you got to experience
you have to experience it in person. There's like festivals, like music festivals or anything like that. Like, it's better in person, or concerts even. Like,
yeah, true.
Experience it in person. Even though I ain't never been to a concert, but I would, from what I've heard, that's the case.
Facts, man. What you got for me, man?
Let me see. I wanna touch on the Robert Kraft situation.
Yeah, touch on that. You know why you got to touch on that, bro? When y'all was going in about Robert Kraft in the group chat, I knew nothing about the situation, and I need to get informed. Please inform me.
So apparently, Robert Kraft, the owner of the Patriots, the Super Bowl champions of this year, and 6-time Super Bowl champion. Actually, 7 times, right? No, it's 6 times.
I think it's 6.
Yeah, they don't want so many damn. I don't lost count. But yeah, so he's the owner of the reigning champs, dynasty, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
So apparently, this was prior to the AFC Championship, and for those who are not football fans or up on the terms of football, AFC Championship is the American Football Conference Championship, mm-hmm. which is the game right before the Super Bowl. So they Patriots was going against Kansas City Chiefs, and literally the night before, it was the night before. He went down to Jupiter, Florida, and went to a spa, and there was some soliciting of prostitution happening.
Damn.
And it was it was it was literally I don't know that specific time, but I know that it was literally right before that game, the AFC Championship game, and that wasn't actually the first time. It actually happened earlier that morning, the previous day too. So it happened that morning, and then it happened again that night, the day before the championship.
So he's doing early Super Bowl celebration, man.
Yes, and put it into context, his wife died a few years ago.
Ah, man.
And,
rest in peace.
I think he currently have a girlfriend, but it ain't your wife. But and
yeah.
So and it wasn't like they was trying to really isolate him or target him. He just so happened to be the biggest name that got, because it was something where the whoever, I don't know if it was the FBI or whoever, was really kind of really staking out this place, but apparently they caught thousands of people. Like, he's one of thousands that's being tracked during whatever time span they was tracking this.
So how do you feel about Robert Kraft, bro? Do you feel like he's morally wrong, or do you kind of understand where he's coming from with wanting sexual favors for money?
My stance on prostitution, I feel like as long as they're of age to have sex, I feel like you should be able to monetize your body.
Mm-hmm. I
feel like if you're of age, if you're 18 and older, you should be able to monetize your body, because it's, at the end of the day, sex is performance. But what else do you use your body to perform? You use your body to perform exercise, sports, or just regular tasks at your, at an everyday job. You're able to, it's a performance. So, and then we're all about, people respecting their bodies, and, other people respecting somebody's decision of their own body. So I feel like if that person wants to, if they're not forced into it, they should be able to decide if they want to do prostitution or not. Now, if they're forced to, or they're underage, then no. But if they're of age and they're not forced to, I feel like if they have that decision, they should be able to. So I don't feel like, because it's the law, I feel like, okay, come on, guy. You know what I'm saying? But I don't feel like prostitution itself should be illegal.
I feel what you're saying. So, wait, how did he get caught in the first place?
Because, like I said, they've been staking out this place. The I don't know which intelligence it was. I don't know if it was FBI or whoever. I just know the feds. They pretty much staking this place out for a certain period of time. It was a lot long. It was way before this. Like it because with in those kind of situations, they staking out they need to build a case. So you need a certain amount of time to build more evidence. So they got video footage of different thousands of people doing it. They just need enough time to build up a case. To then bust him for it. So it, like I said, he was just so happened to be the biggest name that got caught, which is why it's news. But thousands of other people got caught too. So it wasn't just him.
Yeah, man. See, that's why as an owner, you just gotta see. If I'm an owner, I'm gonna be very low key. I don't want to be this guy. Yeah, I'm the owner. I just want to be very low key, make my money, and do whatever I want to do. But he loves the spotlight, so that's why he was the biggest name. Imagine if he was just a low key owner, it probably wouldn't have been the news wouldn't be as big.
But he still got to deal with legal repercussions. Now they saying that in worst case scenario they could face up to a year, but that's just the worst case scenario. He's most likely not going to get any jail time. He just get probation or whatever. But like he could still face up to a year in prison in worst case scenario. But not dealing with the league, like the NFL itself. They have their own set of rules, and honest, and actually, there been players that vocalize like, you gotta hold him to the same standard,
Very true.
So he could either be suspended for a year, he could be suspended for half a year, however long, or he might have to just turn over the Patriots to somebody altogether. It could be a son. Or just somebody completely different altogether. It might just get that serious. So it's still up for debate. It's still up in the air what's going to happen with him. But that's pretty much what we're given as of now.
What would you do to him?
If I'm the commissioner?
Yeah, if he was the NFL commissioner, what would you do to him? What would be his punishment, NFL wise? I feel like whatever I would hold an NFL player to, I would hold him to the same thing, because I don't want to have that friction with the players, because the players is what's making us the money to begin with. So if I was to give a player, okay, you're suspended for 4 games. Okay, then the owner can't touch the team for 4 weeks, because that's that would be equivalent to 4 games or whatever. Or 4 regular season games, not preseason games. So if I had to keep that same energy, whatever I would do to the players, I would do to him. So that's what I would do. Yeah, I think I would have him step down. Somebody has to buy the team.
Why is that?
One, because never in a million years have I heard of a story like this about a NFL franchise owner. So now it may cause a little, confusion in the locker room, because the head of a team has to be the strongest and has to be held accountable and has to be responsible and be the leader and whatnot. But he didn't show that Patriot respectability. Getting caught like this, that's some wild stuff that needs to be on some personal. But the fact that he's been blown up to this point, players may clown him. He may not be able to walk on the field practices and talk to his players or his coaches, his staff. And the dynamic between the team is just going to be different. They may laugh in the back, giggling and shit. Like he's not going to have the same respect he had when he goes back into that, franchise facility.
Well, I have 2 points on that.
Mm-hmm.
First point is, let's keep it a band. The players, even though they don't have to do it, with you traveling so much, or you doing training camp, or whatever the case is, a lot of times, more than likely, those players are doing the same thing. They might not go to a spa specifically, but they probably paying for sex. So, in regards to respectability, I'm pretty sure there's players that's looking at this like, why is this even news? Like,
true, very true.
You know what I'm saying? Like, who cares? So that's the first point. Then the second point is, I feel like if you're an owner of a team, that means you use your money to buy it. So I feel like if they was to be like, okay, you can't own this team anymore, I feel like they would have to have a buy, like how you would buy a player out. Like they would have to have some kind of buyout to where he get his money back, and then can step down. If he don't pass it on to his son, if they just forcing him, like, you done completely, like, you gotta buy him out. Like,
yeah, but another reason why I would have him step down and he would be forced to sell the team is because I just want some clapback season, man. What happened to Colin Kaepernick? It wasn't fair. So I just want some payback, some clapback season, man. That's all I want.
But I feel like every injustice is way different, and I feel like in this situation, I truly feel like if he, like, I don't know him at all, like on a personal shit, none of that, but I feel like he would probably be one of the owners, like, to accept Kaepernick if that whole movement that Kaepernick was doing wasn't such a uproar with the NFL fans. But what the NFL is and what each individual team is a business. So at the end of the day, you're not trying to be, just like every business, you're not trying to be tied to politics. So, and what Kaepernick's stance was a political stance. So no team is trying, which is why I was surprising that Nike tied himself to this.
Strong point.
Kaepernick was already signed to him. No brand, no business really wants to tie themselves to politics.
Strong point.
That's why all owners kind of stepped away from that situation. So, because he actually was a big help to Meek Mill when in his case, being wrongly done by the Philadelphia situation.
Very true.
So him and the 76ers owner. So I can't sit here and say that, let's have this, like, let's keep the energy the same in this situation, because it's like I said, all injustices are unequal. And even though Kaepernick didn't break any law and this dude did, it's like, I'm not going to automatically be like, okay, let's just get him out the paint, Bing Bang Bob, get somebody else in there, because, if he, long as he does his time with, the actual, with been in jail or probation. As long as he paid for it, I don't feel like the NFL has to try to do something drastic just to use him as an example.
Wait, what was Kareem Hunt's punishment outside of the NFL? What was his punishment?
What was his punishment?
Because I know he got suspended for like the rest of the season and some games for the next season. But outside of the NFL, what was his punishment?
I mean, honestly, I think he just got it was like a slap on the wrist. I mean, I don't think he really faced any real jail time, honestly. I could be wrong. I didn't really look in depth into that situation, but I don't think he really faced any real jail time. Okay. I mean, but he signed. I mean, he signed to the Browns now, so I mean, obviously, playing in the NFL is in his future. So
Robert Kraft should just receive a slap on the wrist.
I'm not gonna say just a slap on the wrist. I think, like I said, I think whatever they would do to an NFL player, they should do to an NFL owner. So if it was in the rules that the player need to be suspended, have a lifetime ban, then keep that same energy with the owner. Mm-hmm. But if that player only gets what we would say, quote unquote, slap on the wrist, like 4-game suspension, then I mean, get that to Kraft. Okay. Like I said, if he served his time with the legal system, then I don't think in this situation the league needs to go out of their way to really try to make an example. Because I feel like domestic abuse is way more important. Me personally, I think domestic abuse is way worse, and something that they should set a example for way more than prostitution. Because like I said, I don't know if those prostitutes was forced to do it or they did it on their own. They wanted to sell their body for sex. I don't know the full story, so I can't sit here and say, oh well, let's get him out of pain because he had some kind of ring where he was holding these people hostage. I mean, it's been a long, it's in that kind of field like spas and massage, in the masseuse world, like happy ending is a thing. You know what I'm saying? That's a thing. Yeah, like, that's a thing. So it ain't, and nobody would look at that and be like, oh, they held against their will. No, they want to make a little side change. Don't let them get their money. This dude get what he want. Hey, everybody happy. You breaking the law, but it's not if that's the case, hey, it's not a huge law to break. It ain't a big deal because that both parties was wanting it. So,
bro, I'm gonna tell you the truth, man. I'm gonna tell you the truth, man. Prostitution is only illegal because the U.S. don't know how to make tax money off of that. They don't know how to keep an eye on that so they can get tax money from that. That's the only reason why it's illegal.
But it's legal in Vegas. What a lot of people don't realize is prostitution is legal in Vegas. There's a whole business going on in Vegas right now. The Bunny Ranch. That's literally legal prostitution, and they make their taxes. I don't know if Nevada is a tax state or not, but I mean they still getting their money. They getting their money. You know what I'm saying? And I mean you can say that with a lot of things. Like you can say that with like selling candy bars. Like you can just buy you can buy candy bars in Bulk and Sam's Club or some shit like that, and then just up the price and make profit, and you don't get taxed. Well, outside of that prior, buying it, but then you pretty much resell it and make a profit. So I mean, you could kind of say the same thing about anything.
Yeah, that's true. But that tax money, they want that tax money.
But see, I don't know a lot about taxes anyway, so I ain't even qualified to really speak on this. But I mean, that's just how I see it. Like they gonna figure out a way to get their money. You best believe that.
Oh yeah, you already know.
Look at porn. look at porn. Like, you remember the whole Family Guy kind of poking fun at it.
Yeah.
You know, as long as you have a camera in the, you know, in the situation, it's legal. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Porn. They making their money. They allow that shit to happen. Why not just prostitution?
Porn, man.
And it's only and porn is only legal in certain states. What people don't know either.
Damn, I just learned that. For real?
Yeah, I know it's only. I know California is one of the legal states. I think I can't remember all of the states, but I know it's like 2 or 3 states that porn is legal.
So
I think.
So you've been doing your porn research, huh?
Huh?
You've been doing your porn research, huh?
I don't know. I think I heard it somewhere. I think I did low key do some research on it. Nah, I ain't gonna hold you.
Don't even.
I looked that shit up.
Yo, you tried it.
Nah, I'm trying to. Hey, time is hard. You know what I'm saying? Niggas gotta do something.
Yo, don't tell me you trying to start your own production company, man.
Hey, honestly, that's why I was looking that shit up.
That's wild, man.
Hey, cause think about it, porn, like that's one business. That's one of the few businesses that would never go out of, like, whether it's on the magazine, whether it's online, whether it's on TV. Like, that shit would never. It's always in demand.
Yeah, that's very true. That is always in demand. Another thing that's always in demand that I actually thought about was a toilet paper brand, because you know everybody need to wipe their ass. They always gonna shit. So I actually thought about maybe I should invest into a brand or actually make a brand. I don't know.
I mean, but I feel like that's like certain stuff like that. It's kind of saturated, because I mean, it's like if it's going to be cheap, then you might as well get the Walmart brand or, you know, a store brand. I mean, if it's going to be high quality, then why is it any more better than anything else?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So
yeah, ain't no sense.
I feel like with porn, it's like, okay, it's like you watch a video, you nut to it, okay, it's on to the next night. Hey, it's something new. Like, I ain't about to watch the same thing. Unless I ain't finished that clip, unless I ain't finished that movie, then I'll keep watching the movie, but I ain't going back to that clip again. You know what I'm saying?
Wait,
like,
so you've never you never went back to the same clip?
No, I will, but I give it some time. I mean, sometimes if I'm gonna finish the clip, then I'm gonna go back to the clip sometime. But I want to see something new too, though.
True, very true. Like, I catch myself sometimes going back to the same clip, and I'm just like, you know what, fuck it, man. I do like this model here, and I like this scene. So fuck it, let me just.
Yes, it's like sometimes you don't feel like searching some shit, so you just be lazy and just go back to the same shit and just try to recreate some magic. You know what I'm saying? Just recreate some shit. But sometimes it don't work. You know what I'm saying? So you just gotta find something else.
Now, if you had to name the top 3 categories, what would it be?
Let's see. Lesbian porn is definitely like top. Like, because it teaches you. You can learn from the shit. Like learning how to give head and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. POV, point of view. You know. That's definitely up there. I like that. Makes me feel like I'm there. I'm in the scene.
Right.
Yeah.
If you do not put BBW in there, bro.
It's not in my top 3. It's definitely top 5.
Okay. I can deal with that.
But I'm not trying to be racist, anybody. But I like black porn. Like I like black porn. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I have to. I need to see black porn, but I also like dabbing in the white one.
I do the POG porn too, the PAWG.
Yeah,
like, I like that. That's definitely top 7.
Yeah, I would say yeah, very true.
Yeah, I mean, I don't get it fucked. Oh yeah, Asian porn is definitely the thick Asian porn. Definitely top 5.
You know, I always had that on my bucket list to smash a thick Asian girl. Never done it before.
Same.
Because I think they're only in porn or music videos. You don't really see. Maybe I'm in the wrong areas. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, because mean, a lot of them in the U.S. is either, studying for a test or serving. I ain't gonna use it.
Serving us Chinese food. You better go.
Another topic.
It's racist ass.
It's your turn for a topic, nigga.
Yeah, that's it.
Move on.
No, we ain't.
You gotta move on. Nigga, if you don't go, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna pick a topic, nigga. Hurry up.
Bro, I just can't stop. Like this nigga said, they either studying for a test or serving you food. Nah, but let me move on, man. I'm going to move on to one of my favorite players in the NFL, bro. He has done a lot for the Philadelphia Eagles. He led us to a Super Bowl victory against the Patriots. And this year, he is being released to free agency. That man is Nick Foles. Now,
your favorite player?
No. He's not my favorite player, but I like the guy. I like the guy. I can count on him. He's a player that I can count on. You know what I'm saying? Not a lot of players I can count on, but that's one player I can count on. Nick Foles, when I first heard the news, I was kind of hurt, but I was on a fence, and then I was kind of happy because you could take this either two ways, bro. You could be hurt and mad, like, damn, man, he won us a Super Bowl. He's very important to this franchise. Or you could take it the other way where you're like, you know what? Maybe we need to let him go so we can, really have Carson Wentz to transition into the great legendary quarterback we need. Maybe he don't need to see Nick Foles on the sideline so he can be a better leader, a better player. So I took it as maybe it was best for the franchise to move forward with Carson Wentz as the leader of this team. That's what I took it as. How do you take it?
I mean, I don't know. I feel like they both have, like, I feel like they both are, like, kind of, like, have the same, talent, the playing ability. I feel like they both, like, I mean, the people forget, like, Foles was the guy before Wentz came along. So, yeah, the same, you want to keep somebody that won you a Super Bowl, like, on your squad, but at the same time, it's like, I mean, you didn't really have a choice. I feel like y'all was gonna win it regardless, whether it was Wentz and Foles. They was interchangeable. I feel like Foles. I feel like y'all doing Foles if y'all going with Wentz, then I feel like you're doing Foles a huge disservice by keeping him there, and then like lessening his opportunity to make more money for his family. You know what I'm saying? Put food on his table. And invest for generations, and then also, do other shit, charitable shit. So I feel like you stop in his bag at the end of the day if you keep him on the team. So I get the selfish thinking, but at the same time, let this man flourish.
Yeah, I do feel like he should flourish on another team. The fact that we had two starting caliber quarterbacks, it was kind of messing up the dynamic. We need to know who's the starter, and we need to know who's the backup. But the only thing... Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, a great man once said, if you have two quarterbacks, you have no quarterback.
Oh. Who said that?
Damn, who was it? I heard that shit a long time ago, bro. Man. It made so much sense. It made so much fucking sense.
You probably heard that shit at the Burg barbershop somewhere.
I got that shit on a fortune cookie, nigga.
That's wild. That... Study the test and serve you food. Nah, but
But a thick Asian chick. Go ahead.
She ain't serving no more food. She making real money. Nah, but let me stop. Freaking Foles. Yeah, so the only thing I would say that's bad from this situation is the fact that we got nothing in return for Foles. Like, I would think they would trade him rather than releasing him to their free agency.
I mean, I see that as a respect thing, though, because it's like, at the end of the day, you give him you give him that option. Like, I feel like that's more of a respect thing than let's just try to capitalize off of this. I feel like they respect him so much that they allow him to make a decision of what team he wants to go to.
That's a strong point, G. That's a strong point. I think they respect that man to the highest capacity. So they said, you know what? We're going to give you the opportunity to choose where you want to go. That's a strong point. That's a strong point. Yeah, because if they traded him, he may not like the team he got traded to. Then he could fall into a situation where he don't even start. So, yeah, okay. So they had love for the man. That's what it was. They had love for the man.
That's my thinking.
But you know, there's nobody that had more love for a man than the owner of the Bengals. This man had too much love for that head coach.
Oh, Marvin Lewis.
The
former head coach of the Bengals.
Former head coach of the Bengals, bro.
He was there for freaking 15, 16 years.
Yeah, something like that.
Shit. Shit. Like for the casual fans who listen and don't know who the fuck we talking about. Like, let's put this in perspective. Imagine being at some corporate job or a sales job or something.
Yeah, sales job.
And you know, and then you have this guy who literally lands like maybe like if y'all quota is, as throwing a number out there, is 30 clients a year or some shit, and this man just constantly gets 20, 15, you know, but this dude is still there and no jeopardy of losing a job or some shit. Like, that's what Marvin Lewis is to the Bengals. Yeah,
he never showed up.
Year in and year out. If they did make it to the playoffs, they would never go past the first round.
Right. Never showed up in the playoffs for 15, 16 seasons, something like that. But I do. That's ridiculous. I do have a question. I don't even know, like, where would Nick Foles best fit? What team would want him? I don't really know the landscape of each team's, you know, quarterbacking situation, but I would say, like, in regards to my team, which is the Panthers, Carolina Panthers, I would say if Cam Newton wasn't to come back because of his surgery, I think it was the shoulders that he had a surgery on. If he was not to come back this year, I think Carolina should make a strong push. If not for Kaepernick, make a strong push for Foles. Okay,
if that was the case. That's
a good spot. What about the Jacksonville Jaguars?
They right there. They right there talent wise to make a legit playoff push. But I don't know. That's one of those things. Like quarterbacks go to kind of like the Browns. Like, quarterbacks go to Jacksonville to die. Like, they ain't had like a legit quarterback since either Mark Brunell or David Garrard. I can't remember who was the last one to leave from there. But that was their last legit quarterback. That was like, what, the early 2000s when I was like in the fucking 4th grade? Like,
nah, but yeah. Yeah, like some spots would be maybe the Jaguars or the Panthers, because they said Cam Newton's going to be out for like the whole season, right?
That's what they're predicting. In worst case scenario, I think he should just go ahead and sit out this year, recover, because, you know, I think at the end of the day he's on the clock. Like we need to know if you going to really be the franchise quarterback. So you know, to be fair to you, since you did lead us to a Super Bowl and you have turned this team around from being trash for 2 years or however long it was before we required them, we're going to give you the respect to be able to recover, try to come back, you know, the best shape, and then prove yourself. So I think this would be the year for Carolina to get their shit together as a team and rebuild and figure out what's their weak points outside of the quarterback position, and figure out once Cam Newton do come back the next year, now you have a more prominent team.
Man, I don't know what the Panthers going to do. They lost Thomas Davis. Yeah, I don't know what they're going to. Cam Newton's out. Yeah, this season they're going to go 1-15.
I mean, I ain't gonna go that far. Let's relax. I ain't going that far. I think if they can, really, I think where Carolina messed up. I mean, even going back to the Super Bowl 2015, they was never like the top offensive team, even with Cam Newton and the dual back, tandem. They had there was always a defensive strong team, and that's for any good Carolina team. Going back to when they played the Patriots in 2003 in the Super Bowl, they had a much better offense, but they had a dominating team, a defensive team.
Very true.
Or going back to when Steve Smith later years, and 08, 07, they had a strong defensive team. Then again, Super Bowl in 2015, strong defensive team. So I think where they have to rebuild and where they struggle, surprisingly this past year was defense, and which is why they end up losing 8 games straight.
Dang, so, it was 8 games straight.
You remember they started out 6-1, and they lost, and they literally lost 8 straight games, and still had a chance to make the playoffs.
So they right somewhere in the middle, 500 team.
Yeah,
I feel that. I feel that. They got a little hope. Yeah, I ain't expecting a lot out of them this season, so I ain't even. If they was to go 1 or 2 wins, I could care less. I don't see them making any real strong push in the playoffs. So I don't want to see them in the playoffs if you ain't gonna really show me nothing. Yeah, but one team, back to the Nick Foles point, one team I do not want him to go to is the Giants. That is it may be a possible landing point for him. I don't want him to go to the Giants. I don't want him beating us with Saquon Barkley, bro.
Yeah, and they your rivals on top of that.
Yeah, so we got to play them twice a year.
Yeah, that would be that I didn't even think of that. That would if I'm saying outside of Carolina, I would definitely say that Giants would need him.
Right.
But I mean, again, I don't. But I think he wouldn't even go. I don't even think he would do that to the Eagles because, like I said, I think it was a respect thing that they let him.
Exactly.
Decide.
Yeah, you're right.
So I don't even think he would even consider the Giants anyway.
Yo, what if the Giants was giving him big money? If I was him, I would go.
I mean, yeah. If we talking in terms of business, I mean, hey, loyalty runs real thin. No, I ain't gonna say that. I ain't gonna say that because that was the whole thing with the whole Monique and Steve Harvey debate.
Right.
Where Monique was talking about integrity and Steve Harvey was talking money.
Very true.
So I mean,
with that situation, I can understand where both sides is coming from, but I think I'm leaning more towards Steve Harvey because we do have to. It's just that's a whole nother discussion, bro. I'm leaning towards the Steve Harvey side. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, we can open up that discussion if you want.
I mean, it is what it is, man.
It ties into any business or anything, period. So, I mean,
I think what Steve was trying to say was, yeah, we know that they doing us dirty, but at the same time, we just have to move intelligently rather than moving with fire. Move like water rather than moving like
But at the I guess what, cause I can see it from both sides too. But I guess what Monique was saying is at the compromise of your integrity. You know, it's like
right.
You know, you do wanna maneuver and you wanna adapt, but at the same time you still want to keep your integrity intact, because if you even lose a slight of integrity for a little change, then you practicing it. You know what I'm saying? So then if you make that a reoccurring thing, then eventually you're gonna be doing that on bigger deals or bigger.
But here's my thing. Have the integrity, but do not try to compare your situation to another man's situation. Don't try to say this person got this, why I couldn't get this. This person got this, why I couldn't get this. Don't say that. Just know that person got that opportunity and you may have to look elsewhere. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. That's a whole nother argument. Yeah, that aspect I didn't agree with her. You know, I do. You know, you can't be pocket watching. Is pretty much what you're saying.
Yeah.
And no, that's completely different from the whole integrity, money debate. Because, like I said, this spreads to sports or any business. Period.
Uh-huh.
So it's like just staying in the realm of the integrity versus, money. It's like, or say to just real world, like, you work for a company for X amount of years, and then they still like you doing everything you need to do, and then they still hitting you with the we can't give you the full-time spot, or they ship somebody from
right
whole nother state to come in. You know what I'm saying? Then now you got a decision to make. Do you stick with the company? But they might be paying you good money, and they might be, do you stick with a company that's doing that to you, or do you go somewhere, take a slight pay cut, you still able to pay your bills and stuff, you still be able to put food on your table and, you know what I'm saying, handle shit.
Right.
But you take a slight pay cut, but they're gonna respect you more, and they'll give you that opportunity when you prove yourself.
Yeah, that's very true, man. So it can be taken from either side with that debate. I lean more towards Steve Harvey on that one.
Yeah.
What you got for me though, man?
Huh?
What you got for me?
The Zion Williamson update.
Okay, I got that on my list too. Let's talk about it.
So, as we know, playing against the Duke, playing against UNC Chapel Hill.
Right.
Literally, like, off the rip, this dude, I don't know what kind of Nikes he had on. That nigga, he just ripped right through them shits and, fucked up his, I don't know, what was it, his ankle, or, I ain't watched the game. I wasn't able to.
I think it was, see, this is your profession, but I think it was like on the other side of the left kneecap. I may be wrong. It had to be something with the lower thigh area, or he pulled some. I don't know the injury, so he just got injured.
Yeah, I mean, I brought this up. I didn't really want to focus in on the injury because it's an injury. We ain't here to give
a mild knee sprain.
Yeah, we ain't here to give ESPN updates and shit.
Yeah, I ain't no Stephen A. Smith.
Yeah, I ain't my hairline ain't in the middle of my head.
Yo, that's crazy.
That shit is crazy. That man's still trying with the afro. But
Bro.
anyways, back to this.
Do you think his barber?
My whole take.
Wait.
My whole take. Huh?
Do you think his barber laughs every time he gets in the seat?
Look. Everybody who's listening, Google UNC Charlotte old basketball. I don't know if he's still there. Google UNC Charlotte basketball coach hairline. That shit is ridiculous. Ridiculous. Now, I don't know what fucking barber, who gassed this man to say, yo, that shit working.
Yo,
but
son.
Get that fucking barber the fuck out of here.
Yo.
Get him out of here.
What year did he coach?
Right?
What years did he coach?
I don't even know the exact years, but if you just Google that shit, and go to Google Images, it'll pop up. You will see it.
That's wild, man.
I'm almost certain you will see it. But
yeah, go ahead. What you were saying, man?
But back to I was want to highlight. I don't know where you was trying to go with it, but I know from my end, I wanted to kind of go deeper and behind pause all of that.
Whoa.
Pause all of that, but I wanted to. Okay, let's be mature here.
Come on, fix yourself, man. Come on, man.
I want to dig deeper in this than the surface level injury and is he going to continue the rest of the season or is he going to wait to the NBA? I want to dig deeper than that.
Okay. From the back. Okay.
I was actually watching. I was actually listening to Joe Budden, and his show with Remy Ma. I can't think of the name off the top of the head right now. I got a brain fart, but yeah, they proposed a great point. It's like the way the whole rules is set up, and for the casual fan who don't know the rules behind players being able to go to the professional league, was in this case NBA. They have the one and done rule, which is player has to play at least a freshman year of college before they can enter into the NBA draft. And so that's what Zion Williamson is a part of at the moment. He's fulfilling that 1 year, and my thing with it is these players, I mean, they sit here and say, okay, they get a college education and all that good stuff. Okay, that's fine and dandy, hunky-dory. What person is getting a good college education for being there 1 year? That's my first question.
Very true.
And when your first year, you're taking general classes, so you're not even really like that's like a glorified GED.
Yes.
At that point.
Yes.
So, like, let's get that out of the way, okay? Second, I don't remember that exact number or the exact price, but for that UNC Chapel Hill versus Duke game, the cheapest. Guess what the cheap? I just want you to take a wild guess. Guess what the cheapest ticket available? I think within the last couple of days. Guess the cheapest price.
100.
Shit.
Wow.
Now multiply that times 10.
1,000?
It was in the ballpark of $1,300 for the cheapest available ticket.
You talking about the game, the UNC and Duke game?
Yes, a regular season game, not even a playoff game, not even a March Madness game, no, not a tournament, nothing.
Damn.
It's a regular ass Duke versus North Carolina. The cheapest available ticket within a couple days of that game was $1,300. I don't know the exact, but it was within that ballpark.
So whoever's in that stadium had money.
Oh yeah, If you wasn't a student, cause they give the students discounts. And shit.
Very true, very
so
true,
if you
very
wasn't
true.
a student, and you didn't get your tickets early, and you was paying within those last little bit. Mind you, this was sold out. This was sold out.
Right.
So obviously it was fulfilled. I don't know how many seats was available at this point in time, but hey, so keep that in mind. You get paid, and mind you, I don't even know what like a regular NBA. I don't even know because it like an NBA professional basketball like during the regular season, it can vary depending on the team.
Right.
So say if it's like the Atlanta Hawks or somebody, maybe you probably can get a good seat for maybe about $65.
No. You can get a good seat for $13 at the Atlanta Hawks.
That's with the Hawks. Yeah.
At the Atlanta Hawks, you get a $13 good seat.
But mind you, each player is getting money. They making money. Even like the practice squad niggas is at least getting at least $40K, $50K a year. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Which is pretty much the median for jobs, salaries in America. Period. So
right,
they're making money. But in college, these kids can't make money. They only can get the education and then whatever the college provides. They can't get anything external. They can't get a free haircut. You know what I'm saying? They can't. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know if they can work a job, like a regular paying job.
Nah, I ain't working no job. Nope.
Yeah, you can't work no job because you don't know if that job is showing favoritism or not. So, and then just adding a little extra cash to their pocket, so they can't even do that. So these players are paying for free, essentially, outside of the education. But as I pointed out earlier, it's really not much of education. So yeah, so I think this pretty much signifies like he's playing his heart out. And this could have easily happened in practice. This could have easily happened him just going up, a flight of stairs. But the point is, if it did, if he just was able to go straight to the NBA, which his talent is, that's how talented he is. He's able to go straight to the NBA out of high school.
Mm-hmm.
Was able to do that, it wouldn't even matter because he getting paid. But because he's restricted, and then even more on top of that, the school have the sponsorship with Nike.
Yeah, the school.
He don't even have the sponsorship. So the school is forcing him to wear these shoes, and they fuck up and could have ended his playing career period.
Right.
So I think it's deeper than just he's got hurt. Like I think it's a real problem, and I think he could use this to really help make a push for athletes in the future, so they can be compensated fairly.
Yeah, Zion Williamson is very important, not only to Duke basketball, but he's very important to the culture of America. And here's why I say this. When Zion Williamson got injured, busted through the Nike shoe, Nike's stock fell. Just think about that. Nike's stock fell because Zion Williamson busted through the shoe. That's how important this man is to American culture. Nike is American culture, so that means Zion Williamson is American culture. So that means Zion Williamson is going to be taken #1 overall pick, and that means Zion Williamson is going to be compared to LeBron James in 10 years. Not no Blake Griffin. He's going to be compared to LeBron James in 10 years. So I just wanted to bring that up. Another thing. Now this is, like you said, this is a regular season game. Duke UNC. It's not March Madness, not even an NBA game. The 44th president of the United States showed up at this game. Spike Lee showed up at this game. You think they showed up at the game to see Duke versus UNC? No. They showed up at the game to see Zion Williamson because they know what I know. I just wanted to take it there because I just want to further prove that this man will be considered one of the NBA greats and be enlisted in the NBA Hall of Fame for time to come.
I mean, and see, even my view on, because I mean, like we're in agreement, as far as NCAA college period, it's just fucking everybody up, not just basketball players, but just fucking up, teenagers, young adults in general. You know what I'm saying? And that's a whole fucking conversation in itself. But just kind of touching back on what we kind of debated last week,
right,
with Zion.
Right.
I think that we in a culture now where it's either none or all, and I feel like when everybody is super hyped and like, oh, this is the next coming and all that, and it's like, yes, he is a very electrifying player. Yes, he's very talented. Yes, he could potentially be a Hall of Famer. But I think where I was coming, how I view it is, I think if the logical person in the room is like, okay, yes, he's doing his thing, but let's logically think about what he's provided to us thus far, as far as like being able to go to an NBA team and just transforming that team. All we have to really go by is this year, honestly, because I mean, high school, all niggas is doing in high school is gathering their AAU squad together and just going to a team. They ain't really like, there's no individual person transforming a high school team.
Very true.
Honestly. So all we have to go by is this Duke season for Zion. And the point I was making last week is he has so much talent around him that you can't really see him really making, like really really having an impact as far as improving their gameplay. Now, obviously, him not being on the court has affected them because they just lost to Virginia Tech.
Mm-hmm.
But Virginia Tech should be ranked higher than 20. Honestly, they actually a really good basketball team. They only have 2 less losses than Duke. So I mean, that is what it is. But I'm not discrediting him not being on the court. I'm not saying that him not being on the court isn't contributing to Duke not being as potent as they was. But what I'm saying is we haven't seen him really make his teammates around him better. We haven't seen that from him. Now that's why I compare him to old Blake Griffin, not the current one, because I thought Blake Griffin was retired. Honestly, he ain't really doing shit. Or if you want to, if you see that as disrespectful, I compare him to, Kyrie Irving, who, even though they don't play the same position or have the same gameplay at all, Kyrie Irving is arguably, is without a doubt is in the top 5, most talented basketball players currently playing. Like, not without a doubt. Some would even argue he's in the top 3 talent-wise. But his impact on Boston, as we can see this year alone, they struggling. So his impact is not like a LeBron James. LeBron, even though Lakers are struggling this season as well, but you can contribute that to the old farts that wanted to contribute to the team, like a fucking Rondo and what's the nigga that played on Indiana Pacers? Nigga that blew on LeBron ear.
Lance Stevenson.
Lance Stevenson, yeah. They ain't doing shit. So, anyways, that's a whole nother thing, but...
True shit.
But yeah, so that's what I was saying, but I'm not discrediting this kid. I said this kid can be a Hall of Famer. I said this kid can make all-star teams and do big things, but because I'm saying he can't be a LeBron, I don't think he's gonna be a LeBron. It's like, oh, you hating, or and it's like, honestly, I feel like, why do he even have to be LeBron? Why can't he be better than LeBron? Why can't he just be the next Zion? Why can't he just be Zion?
That's actually my point. Like, I'm not trying to make him the next LeBron. I'm just saying, like, he's going to be talked about just like LeBron is talked about in the NBA. Like, LeBron was the face of the NBA, Kobe was the face of the NBA, Michael Jordan was the face of the NBA. Like, they was all talked about. That was the main event. I'm just saying Zion Williamson will be the main event of the NBA when he reaches the NBA.
Yes, and that's why I made that comparison to Blake Griffin, because it's like, obviously they're within sports, there's a time where there can be a player that dominates a year or a little span of like 2 to 3 years, like Steph Curry a couple years back. Like he was the best, regarded as the best player or one of the best players at that time. Like he was getting a lot of hype and all that shit. But what separates a Jordan from a Blake Griffin or a LeBron from a Steph Curry is that they was able to do it throughout the entirety of their career, to where Steph Curry or Blake Griffin, they only had that time span where they was the man, and then it kind of
nah. I wouldn't put Steph Curry in there. He's still having a long span of greatness as being the point guard of the league.
I mean, I'm saying as far as hype is concerned. I'm not saying as far as like their talent, because I mean, yeah, Steph Curry is still equally as talented as he was 2 years ago, but because he's a selfless player and he was open to requiring the second best player in the NBA, which is Kevin Durant, obviously, he wasn't able to play like he used to play. So I'm not saying that. I'm saying in regards to viewing them as the best player in the NBA.
I got you.
2 years ago, he was regarded as the best by many, as the best player in the NBA.
Very true. Very true.
Blake Griffin, 4 or 5 years ago, he was regarded as one of the best players in the NBA, because so that's what I was saying. Like, Zion had to be able to come in and not only do that for 1, 2, 3 years, he had to do that through the entirety of his career. And I feel like just people in general like put so much pressure on just young people, just like the young kids, the future of the of the world, like so much pressure. Like this even equates to the real world, like going back to college. You can see the talent in Zion. You can see the talent in that kid who gets the straight A's in high school. But then you sit here and say, oh, well, if you don't do this after college, or if you don't do this in your first year in the NBA, then, you know what I'm saying, those people who was hyping you up, then once you don't give them what they want, in that short time span that they give you, then they on to the next one. Now you left like, dang, where's the same attention? Where's the same, you know what I'm saying? Now they can't motivate themselves because they've been so used to being motivated by others motivating them.
Yeah.
So that's my beef with that, because if he go out and only average 12, 13 points in the first year, I feel like a lot of people will get off his bandwagon. And then that'll leave him to be like, okay, either I'm gonna crumble under this, people, jumping off my bandwagon, or I'm going to dig deep like Jordan did and try to prove to these motherfuckers that I'm here. And that's why I didn't want to include Jordan in this, because his plight was different than LeBron and Zion's. Jordan was always the underdog until
Very
he
true.
proved to be the top dog.
Kobe
Zion
as well.
and LeBron was out. They was always in the spotlight when it mattered. They had that process of building up to that, but nobody was paying attention to them until they did their thing.
Yeah.
Which for LeBron was freshman year of high school, which for Zion was around his senior year of high school. So that's my point.
Yeah, I got what you're coming from. And that's a tougher road, to be considered the man and still achieve the goals that people projected you to achieve. Like LeBron, he was in the spotlight since day one, and he still got 3 rings. That's why he's the greatest of all. But other than that, that's all I had to say about the whole Zion Williamson situation. You got more of that?
That's really, I mean, I unloaded my clip. You know what I'm saying? I got
yeah, you got a lot out on that one.
I was, and matter of fact, like I was just thinking about that shit. Cause I think it was it the night before last night? Cause how when you plan on getting up early, so you go to sleep early.
Right.
So I went to sleep early, and then woke up like 2-3 hours after I went to sleep, and then could not go back to sleep. And then I was just thinking about that shit, and that shit was really like irking me. So So I'm like, I gotta get this shit off my chest. God damn.
Yo, did you go outside for a jog? Like, how did you blow that steam,
I'm like,
man?
God damn it! Like, I'm tired of this shit. Let me stop. Yeah, I had to get that off, man.
Nah, but yo, I want to talk about 3 players that are underrated. 3 players that are underrated in the NBA, bro. Now, these 3 players, one of them is Trae Young, another one is Thon Maker, and the other one is a guy named DeAndre Bembry. I know you don't know that last name, but
No.
but so I was watching the Atlanta Hawks game the other day. I forget who they was playing, but I think it was the Suns. It may have been the Suns, but I'm watching the Atlanta Hawks game and I'm like, yo, the Atlanta Hawks, their record is very bad, but Trae Young, I feel like he's going to transform into an elite point guard in this league. And not only I seen him play, but I seen DeAndre Bembry play on their squad. I think he's a shooting guard, small forward on the Hawks, and I believe he comes off the bench. But whenever he came off that bench, bro, he was making veteran plays. Like, he was taking it to the rack, shooting threes, and he looked confident out there. And that same thing goes for Trae Young. Like, these 2 players, I just feel like they're going to be somebody in a few years, bro. Along with Thon Maker, the center that's on he got traded to the Pistons. Like a lot of teams put Thon Maker as a backup center, but I feel like he can be a starting center in this league. He could shoot the 3. He has hustle. He has a lot. He blocks the ball. He has defense. And he finishes under the rim every time. He's just an exciting player to watch. I just want him to start in a league. So I just wanted to shout out the underappreciated players, the underrated players, Trae Young, DeAndre Bembry, and Thon Maker, man.
Yeah, well, I have to say that, this is another thing that I was thinking, it's kind of, carry over from the Zion situation. I feel like the same height we would give a Zion, or we would give anybody, Trae Young. I think that hype could go to anybody, even an undrafted player that nobody knows about from that Division III college. You know what I'm saying? That don't even have dorms. But of course the hype is going to go to the person on the big school that's was doing the amazing things in high school, and now they doing it in college or doing it in the NBA. It's like it's easy to pick those highlight reel type players because they're the most visible. But that's the point I'm making. Like anybody, or the point you was making last week about how Jordan only averaged 13 points, per game. Like, it just takes that one player to be like, you know what, I'm tired of finishing last, or I'm tired of being the underdog. I'm going to get in this gym, bust my ass. That undrafted player, I'm going to get in this gym, bust my ass, make this team, and then once they get on the team, they don't just be content. Now I'm going to bust my ass to start. And then they start.
Right.
And then I'm going to bust my ass to be an all-star. Now they all-star. Now I'm going to bust my ass to be a repetitive all-star. And now they're in the Hall of Fame 15 years later,
right,
or however long. You know what I'm saying? So I think for the kids out there, I think it's even more. It's easier now to get discouraged because it's like, dang, I'm not where they at, and I'm here. Nobody, I ain't got no kind of looks. Nobody really. It's easy to get discouraged. Like, dang, but that's the reason why to even double down on working hard, because there's those who are naturally able to leap high or run fast, and then there's those who because of their environment they're able to practice more or do more things, have more opportunities. And then if you in a unfortunate situation where your genetics ain't the best and your environment's not the best, that just means you just gotta work harder. So if you up for it, or are you just gonna be a wimp and just be like, oh, I'm gonna just settle? And it's like, hey, I'm not here to judge you. Don't let nobody judge you. If you want to settle, settle. But now you have to live with that when you're 40 years old, sitting at a fucking game saying, damn, back in my day. No, I don't want to hear that old nigga.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck. You know?
Yeah, now you sitting there playing 2K, man. You sitting there playing 2K wishing you still played in the league.
Exactly. Yo, bro, I used to do this, dog. Look at this young kid. I used to do this. Get the fuck out of my face. I don't want to hear that shit.
Yo, I used to be on NBA Street, man, and playing that 3-on-3, man.
I can beat Jordan. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Get the fuck out of here, man.
Get the fuck out of here.
Man,
that's my 2 cents on it, man.
Nah, I feel that though. But while you were speaking, I thought of one player. Like the best unathletic player to ever play in a league to me was Paul Pierce, bro.
Paul Pierce?
Yeah, he could knock down the 3, he could hustle. Yo, but there was nothing to him that you said, wow. Like he won he has 1 ring, right? Yeah, he got like a ring, but he's a Hall of Famer even though he wasn't no highlight reel. So you can work hard to try to be like, but at the end of the day, try to be like your own player, because that's what's going to get you to the Hall of Fame.
Exactly. I'm saying that's just working hard is just specific to a sport like basketball. It don't matter if you can run fast. Usain Bolt speed. Can you get the ball in the basket? Can you play defense? Can you dribble? But if you is doing track and field like the young lady was talking about earlier, who broke the record at A&T. That's her sport, is running fast. So it just particular to a sport or particular to. I mean, you can take this to any facet of life, whether it's sport, whether it's business, whether it's school. Don't matter.
Yeah, very true. So make sure you watch the highlights of Thon Maker, bro, because that man's the truth, in my opinion, man. That's your homework.
I'll check him out, because only person you named was Trey Young that I really
recognize.
And even he, you know what?
That's the only player you recognize that I named.
That was the only player.
Yeah, man. Yeah, check those 3 players out. I'm gonna just send you the names so you can check them highlights out, man. They real. They nice. They here.
True shit. But have you heard about the LL Cool J, Ice Cube investing in getting the sports channel?
Man, they need to sit down, man. Nah, I'm playing. Black entrepreneurship, I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
But I say they doing big things out here. They done gather billions in investments, from just different investors, different financial backings, and they trying to purchase 22 sports channels, bro.
They're trying to purchase 22 sports channels?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, they doing big things out here, man, and I think you just think about where they came from, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Struggling, just getting into rapping, thinking like they can make a couple bucks out of it, and then to now, fast forward, now they potentially investing in a fucking network that can fucking reach the masses, billions of people, It's amazing.
Yeah, that's truly amazing. That's what I call generational wealth. Like that's what we should be striving for as black people. Do it, Ice Cube and LL Cool. I didn't think LL Cool J was into that stuff, man. I always knew Ice Cube was with it, with the whole Big 3 basketball league. I didn't know LL Cool J was into that. I'm proud of him though.
I say that just goes to show, like you don't know. Like, people think they be knowing these celebrities, but you don't know the ones that are really, fuckheads, and then you don't know the ones who are actually really good people,
Right.
actually want to make a difference.
And like the famous, late and great Biggie said, and if you don't know, now you know.
Exactly. That's bars right there.
Yeah.
Hey, I commend that shit, bro. Heavy.
Side note, Biggie is the worst rap. Nah, let me stop.
I'm about to say, nigga, that's you will not be welcome back in your home state of New York if you say that shit. Like, I wouldn't even allow you to say some shit like that. Like you fucking yourself up.
Bro, you probably get murdered for saying some shit like that in them streets, man.
But yeah, somebody knock on your door immediately.
Oh yeah, because they heard me on this very podcast. All right, send in the recruits. Get
like, I ain't order pizza. But yeah, you got another topic.
You already know what I want to talk about. I saved the best for last. For my last.
Do you think that? You said what?
I saved the best for my last.
Okay.
So,
I got you.
I'm sure you've either watched the game or you watched the highlights between the Brooklyn Nets and the Charlotte Hornets.
Oh yeah.
Now,
well, hold on.
Go ahead.
I seen the highlights for the Warriors and the Hornets, and I done seen. I don't remember seeing no Nets shit, but yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So. Wait, who? By the way, who won that game?
You said what?
By the way, who won that game?
Oh, the Hornets and Warriors.
Yeah.
Come on now. I mean, the Hornets my team, but.
But you
know what? But you know what's crazy? Before you even get to your point, before you even get to what you want to talk about, let's talk about what's his name? Boogie Davis. Boogie Davis. God damn, what's that nigga name on the word? Oh, Boogie Cousins. God damn. I don't know why I want to say Boogie Davis.
Because
I think about Big Baby Davis.
What you was thinking about was Boogie Cousins and Anthony Davis when they played for the New Orleans Pelicans. That's what you was thinking about, man.
A guy, yeah. I don't know. I was tripping. Okay, yeah. So Boogie Cousins. So basically, one of the players' shoes came off on the Hornets, and it was in the middle of the court. And all Cousins did was take the shoe, talk to the sideline. Obviously you don't want niggas to trip over it and
right.
they shit up. So he got a flagrant or technical foul or whatever. Not flagrant, but a technical foul off that shit.
Wow.
Like, this is my team, but come on now. Like, that's OD. But they
that is
retracting
wild.
it. Like, the league reviewed it after the game, and they retracted the technical. Because, if you get a certain amount of technicals, then you suspend it or some shit like that. So they retracted it as they should have, but they should have never called the shit in the first place. But I just wanted to touch on that. You can go on with your little Knicks shit.
Nah, it's all good. But I feel like they gave him that flagrant because of his reputation in the league. If it was somebody else, they probably would have just let him loose.
Yeah, probably.
So, this furthers my point that the Brooklyn Nets will be a contender in a few years. Defeated the Hornets 117-115. We were led by our all-star point guard in D'Angelo Russell. Now, this win was not only significant because my team beat Petty G's team, but this win was also significant because it was D'Angelo Russell's birthday, and he scored 40. So anybody out there trying to say that this man is not a top 10 point guard, please holler at me. Your boy Smoove. Please holler at me.
So let me get this straight. Okay. You're telling me that because a player scored 40 points against a team that's most likely not going to make the playoffs, and it just don't happen to be his fucking birthday.
Yep.
he is a top. What you say? Top 10.
Top 10 point guard that's playing in the league today.
Top 10 point guard playing in the NBA. Now, I mean, I don't know. I can't even list 10 point guards honestly right now. So I would probably say, even scratching the 40 points, he could be in the top 10 without that. But I don't think that was a strong case to say that this nigga is the top 10.
I mean, guard. There's another point though. He scored 40 on Kemba Walker.
Okay, that's a stronger point. Should have led with that nigga.
I had to save the best for last, man.
Okay, I mean, even still, it's like, okay, he had a good night shooting. I mean, like I said earlier, I mean, numbers don't lie, but at the same time, they can be misleading. So you don't know if niggas hit him with hit Kemba with a pick and roll. You don't know if.
Hey man, it don't matter.
Just get shot. It does matter.
It don't matter. This man scored 40 points on a top 5. I would say top 7 point guard in the league.
Whoa. Okay. Now you're not going to disrespect. He's definitely top 5.
You know what? Yeah. Wait, let me try to name some point. Okay, we got Steph Curry, we got Kyrie Irving, we got Damian Lillard,
Chris Paul.
Oh, definitely Chris Paul. So Kemba would fit in that 5th spot, or let me try to think, man. Yeah, I guess I would go with Kemba. Spot. Yeah, I guess I would go with Kemba.
Don't ever fucking disrespect Kemba.
Yeah, that man is nice. He a beast.
He's just on a trash team, which I hate because we just wasting his good years. Kind of like Larry Fitzgerald on the Cardinals, just wasting his talent.
Yeah. How old is he now? Like 35, 6?
Yeah. Eli age. Eli Manning age.
Yeah, he should just retire on the Cardinals, to be honest.
I mean, yeah, but it's just unfortunate. Like, I wish he would have got out of there like sooner. Or I wish he would have won it when they played the Steelers. Like, hindsight, because when I watched that Super Bowl, I was going for the Steelers, but just hindsight thinking about it, like, I wish Cardinals gave Larry Fitzgerald that win.
Yeah, that's very true. Like, he could have went out this game with at least one Super Bowl ring.
And since we on the topic of legends, not winning the big game, let's reflect a little on Reggie Miller.
It's a great one.
Reggie Miller played for the Indiana Pacers. Let's see when he got drafted. He was 6'7".
In the 80s?
He was in 1987. He got drafted 11th overall. And reason I wanted to talk about Miller, I was watching this the little was it 30? Yeah, it was 30 for 30. Miller versus it's not your team, but that's your second favorite team, the Knicks, New York Knicks.
Okay.
Spike Lee had to be in this shit. He ride for Nick Heavy. So so I was just watching that. It kind of gave a big. They kind of gave a little background of, Reggie Miller's life, like his upcoming. How his sister Cheryl Miller, which is arguably, if not the greatest women's basketball player in history,
right.
She's like the majority of women's basketball.
Mm-hmm.
She actually had, I think she still has the record for the most points scored in a high school basketball game with 107 or some shit like that.
Wow.
Yeah, Reggie wasn't even the best basketball player in his
family.
Yeah, and he's a Hall of Fame player in the NBA.
Damn.
But so they was just kind of and then when it came to the Pacers deciding who they're going to pick in that 87 draft, they was trying to decide between him and some white boy who played for Indiana, the Indiana Hoosiers. He was real popular, what I'm saying, in the state of Indiana. Like, they they thought he was about to be. You know how hyped Tim Tebow was.
Right.
You know, he was baby at that time for basketball for the Indiana Pacers. So when they decided to get Miller instead of him, and the dude, I can't remember his name, but he ended up slipping all the way to like the second. And, you know, in the NBA, that's pretty much like the trash round right there.
Yeah, so, that's like the 7th round for the NFL.
Yeah, like, you know, so that just goes to show like how hyped in that state he was, and then what the reality was for everybody else. So yeah, so they clearly made a better option, because the dude that they passed over, the Indiana, you know, supposed savior, he ended up like quitting the NBA like a few years later and ended up becoming a coach. So yeah, they made a better choice. But yeah, back to Miller. He just, 3-point specialist. You know, one of the greater three-point shooters in history. 6'7" shooting guard. You know, the stats just speaks for itself. I mean, it's unfortunate that he wasn't able to really, get them to the, that finals ring. But shit,
yeah,
that's one player that I wish would have got that shit, man.
Where I feel that, man, because Jordan, he ruled the 90s. Like, ain't nobody getting in the ring but Jordan.
Yeah.
And the only reason the Houston Rockets got 2 rings was because he was not there. Like, he took some time off. So, man, any Hall of Famer that played in the 90s, I feel bad for them.
That's go without saying. And see, and honestly, like, so that's just the example, like how, like, you could be a Hall of Famer and still not live up to a Jordan or LeBron. You know,
I feel what you're saying, but Reggie wasn't the first pick, though. I can agree with your argument if you was naming a Hall of Famer that never won that was a first pick.
Patrick Ewing.
Okay.
Will Chamberlain. I ain't gonna say Karl Malone, but
I think Will got one.
No, he didn't. I don't think he did.
I don't know. I gotta do my research, man. I think he got one.
But I mean, but definitely the first one. Patrick Ewing.
But yeah,
Patrick Ewing, he was like that. Patrick Ewing was such a big deal during his draft that they actually thought the commissioner at that time, who was a New York native, and I think he wasn't. They say he was a Knicks fan. They thought he rigged the NBA draft just to get Ewing. So,
yeah, there's like conspiracy theories about that. Yeah.
But yeah, so Patrick Ewing is like perfect one.
Yeah, that's true. I'll give you that. Speaking of the Hall of Famers, though, I want to go back to All-Star Weekend, bro.
What's up?
Now, the All-Star Weekend, they decided to allow 2 veteran honorees to the All-Star teams. Team LeBron, Team Greek Freak, right? Now, these 2 honorary veterans were Dwayne Wade and Dirk Nowitzki. But I feel like there was one honorary veteran that they left out, bro.
Who was that?
Guess who that man is? That man is Vince Carter, bro. I know he's going to the Hall of Fame, but I feel like they snubbed him trying to honor.
Retiring this year.
Okay.
Yeah, D Wade and Dirk supposed to be retiring after this year.
Dang, Vince should have just said he's retiring.
But he just loved. He liked Brady, like he Tom Brady, like he loves the sport so much. He just want to just keep playing for as long as he's able to.
I think he's gonna go to 45.
Think so?
Yeah,
How old is he now?
He's 41 right now. I think he's gonna go to 45.
Oh, okay. Dang, he only 41.
Yeah, man.
Wow.
Yeah, he started declining in his career early.
But you was talking about Paul Pierce earlier. Like, Vince Carter was like the complete opposite.
Exactly.
For like the early parts of his years, like all he was athleticism, and then he started developing his game more in his later years. But he was like the complete opposite of Paul Pierce. Like he was just that super athletic guy who had the hustle, and he just would go out there with just raw talent and just be dunking on niggas. 7-footers, all of that shit.
Yeah, he was crazy athletic, man. That was a time to be alive.
Hey, you think? Well, yeah. I mean, I do think he should be in the Hall of Fame.
Oh yeah.
I think every year that he stayed, though, I think it hurts him a little bit. Like as far as like when they'll let him, when they finally decide to let him be a Hall of Famer. But I mean, I think he's done enough for the league to get that spot.
Yeah, he'll probably get there like 2030. 2030.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, that wraps up for me, man. You got some more?
Yeah, that wraps it up. I wanna talk about, you know, one of my topics was, will Lakers make the playoffs? But honestly, I think I pretty much chalked that one up earlier.
Yo, that was actually one of my topics as well, but I was like,
Yeah, it's like, who cares? I mean, I think this year, you know, for the people who really think about basketball, like really like into that shit, I think they kind of predicted this. Like as far as they already knew that this was going on. Like this was their kind of experimental year. You know, LeBron obviously moved to LA for off the court, you know, business reasons, and you know, you come into a young team, and you know, you didn't really know what to expect from them, but you knew with them being in the West that they won't competing against the Warriors for at least this year. But if the Warriors, you know, decide to break up after this year, then you know, it's the Wild West. But till then, pretty much in, no pun, but in Warriors court, you know. So
I like that. No pun intended.
No pun. But yeah, so that's my spiel.
Yeah, big facts, man. But yeah, let's wrap this joint up, man. I'm your host, Smoove. That's your man's Petty G over there. This is the Burg Bros podcast. Make sure you guys follow me on, you know, social media, the Crooklyn Third. You could probably type in Smoove to find me, but yeah, that's me. You got some shout outs, G?
Yeah, hey, just check us out on SoundCloud for videos, and then check out our clips on YouTube. That's all I got for you.
Yep, make sure you spell it right. Burg Bros, Burg Bros. So you can find that. You can listen to us.
Put podcast as well. Spell all that shit out.
Yeah, spell it all out. Yeah, thank you for listening, everybody. Thank you.